Welcome to episode 51 of How to Play Like a WoW Pro. Today I'm going to show you how to play Northeast Haluf in a light tank. So in general on Haluf I like to go north and play this corner here. But if I'm in a tank that can't do that, such as most light tanks, or maybe a TD, then I'll end up playing in this area here. Not really with TDs. With TDs I'd usually just camp the base, but with light tanks I love to play this area right here, and I'll show you why in this replay. So in this map there aren't very many situations where I'm actually going to be spotting through a bush from close range, so there's no real reason for me to bring Commander's Vision System. So I decided to bring my other loadout, which has improved aiming unit over Commander's Vision System. And on this tank, as you'll notice, I bring 10 HE shells. And the reason why I do that is because it's very useful when fighting other light tanks or when you get behind heavy tanks or tank destroyers. And let me just show you where I like to start off in this game. On this side, I guess, with light tanks. It's a very strong location, but you have to be very careful, especially when you're not in an EBR. So basically what I like to do, I like to play this bush right here. So if you poke up like this into this bush, you won't get spotted from anywhere in this area. And this area is too far away for you to get lit. The only way you get lit when you poke over here is if they're like below your gun line, like here. Or if they're like in this area, which is pretty rare. Doesn't happen very often where a tank will YOLO down like this because they're completely in the open for the TDs. The other possible option is you get lit from like over here or over here, but the only way that ever happens is if it's like a light tank with binos. It's basically impossible. It's just not going to happen. But I've already preloaded HE because light tanks love to play in this area here, and that's what's so good about this position here. Especially when the enemy has like 2 or 3 light tanks, you can start off at this position, use this bush. If you're in a tank that has high explosive, good high explosive, like an EBR 105 or the EBR 75, then you can load that to begin with. And unfortunately, my aim is absolutely fucking god-awful, so I don't pen him twice in a row because I'm terrible at this game. But we still get off some free damage in the beginning. But, as you can see, after you fire, you're gonna get spotted. So, instead of just sitting right here, just waiting to get unlit and then moving back, try to, while you're still lit, try to make it seem like you're probably gonna poke from here later. Or at least just stay away from this bush. Because if you just sit here, right beneath the bush, while you're unlit, first of all, their artillery is going to have a better shot on you. Second of all, they might just blind fire you because they might realize that you're just going to go straight back into the bush. So I wait to get unlit and then I come back. But their Scorpion gets lit way up high here. This sometimes happens. It doesn't happen often with something like an EBR 75 because my view range is so garbage that I can't really spot up here. But if you're in something like a Sheridan or RHM Panzer, you can occasionally spot people who are playing up here, but they have to be sitting in the open. They can't be behind a bush. But either way, I get 2 free shots into that guy, but I do get relit for it. So again, I'm staying over here while I'm still spotted, and then as soon as I'm unspotted, I'll come back. And you want to be, this was pretty poorly done, to be honest. I should have entered more into the bush like this angle instead of like this angle. So I wasn't actually sure if this guy somehow spotted me around this corner here or not. So I was kind of rushing myself. If I would have gone into the bush properly, I would have known that I'm not spotted. So again, I missed out on two shots and I only get 1 shot off because of that. But when you are using this bush, if you're in something like an EBR 75 where you need to get 2 shots off, try to go into the bush backwards, or at the very least, as soon as you fire, try to get back into cover, because these TDs in this position here, maybe somewhere back here or up here, they can all shoot you. And especially if you're using this bush over and over again, like I am in this situation, you need to be careful because they're gonna be pre-aimed on you. Now in the ABR-75, it goes like 70 backwards and like 75 forwards or something like that, or 82 forwards. So it doesn't really matter whether I'm backwards or not. Now if you pay attention to what I did there, this guy was wider than I expected him to be, like further to the left. So I wasn't sure if he was spotting me through this gap here. So I just back off just to ensure that I'm not lit. I'm not taking any risks here because if there's ever a situation where I'm lit and I don't realize it and I pull into this bush, it's almost guaranteed that I'm gonna completely just explode. So I have to be very careful. Now there I aim poorly and I also get a little bit unlucky and I don't pen him twice. But, you know, what can you do? If I was firing full APCR up until this point, I would probably have more damage, but... Here, I was gonna get a shot, back up and get a shot onto these guys, but I don't have quite enough gun elevation. But now I know that I'm unspotted, because this guy is no longer spotted, which means I'm unspotted. And I find a cheeky little angle where he can't spot me back, and I can go for shots on these guys. So I blind shot this Surf Shrek TVPK, whatever the hell it's called, and I hit him twice, which is great. I play this bush again, but I'm worried about getting blind shots, so that's why you can see I'm kind of poking into the bush, testing whether I get spotted, and then I'm pulling back, and then I'm pulling back into the bush after I've confirmed that I'm not gonna get lit. And here, this guy blind fires me and he hits me, which was a nice blind fire by him. But I only shoot him once and then I back up, even before I realize that he's gonna die to the AMBT. Because I know that they're probably gonna be pre-aimed on me, and it's just not worth it to go for 2 shots in that situation. It's just too risky. And in between shots, the main reason why I stay here, besides the fact that it makes it seem like you're not going back to the bush, it's just a little bit harder for the enemy already to hit you because the slope is quite steep here. But you want to be moving in between your shots if they have enemy already. But now let's take a look at the map and the situation. The game, we're up tanks, so we should be winning, but it's kind of hard to tell because we have no information on the HP of these guys here. But if you look at what's spotted on their team, the only thing that's unspotted is the WZ-120. And so I'm thinking that I can definitely push this side. And usually when you want to push the side, I usually start out in this location, but if I clear out all of the light tanks who are playing here, very often what I'll do in light tanks is I'll push up like this. In this game I get even a little bit more greedy than that. And instead of going all the way around, you would want to take this path, by the way, because this corner here will spot anybody who goes like this. Whereas if I take this route, it's not a guarantee that this corner spots it because I might have good enough camo not to get lit. But during this game, I'm feeling confident enough. I still have basically all my HP. I'm feeling confident enough that I can just push right up here and then get off 2 shots and then pull back. Because I don't expect the links to hit me most likely. There I spot the Wheezy and I kind of make a mistake. I should have approached backwards and more cautiously and pushed up from this angle probably. So I kind of make a mistake there, but it's not a huge deal. I take 1 shot, but I deal out 350 damage in return, so... And this guy's not paying attention to me, so I get off 2 more shots. And let me just say, this tank is extremely good. Like, it's the best light tank at tier 8 in my opinion, even better than the LT432. But I see that the links get spotted, and this guy, he can be a real pain for me because whenever I get lit here, in this area, whenever I poke up to shoot these TDs, he'll be shooting me in the side if he's still alive. So I aim at him to make sure he dies, and I get a lucky high roll so he dies. Which removes that thorn in my side, so now I don't have to worry about him at all. I can just poke up here, and the only thing I have to worry about is these TDs shooting back at me. But I noticed that the Scorpion is committing down. Not exactly sure why he's doing that, but I'll take it, it's free damage. And now it's pretty clear that we are winning this game. We're up tanks, we're up HP, at least it seems we're up HP. We're up map control. So I want to do as much damage as I can before this game ends. And so I'm going to play a little bit more aggressive here, because this flank is basically all dead anyway. I don't want to get hit by the WZ because he'll put me down to like 100 HP, which isn't ideal. I hit 2 nice shots on him. Take him out. And now I see that this guy committed down into here. So after I'm unlit, then it's safe for me to come up over here. But I think I'd probably go there before I'm even unlit, because I'm just assuming that he'll most likely miss me, and even if he does hit me, it's not the end of the world, because I can still play unspotted and kill their arties and whatnot. But as you can see, I'm 390 meters away, and since he's a tier 8 medium tank, he's just barely not able to spot me. He probably isn't running food and whatnot, and I can't spot him either yet, because my view range is so poor in this tank. But our teammate pushes onto him, so he gets lit. And I'm just taking the free damage here. Now it's basically just the tanks in the north and then the artillery, and I'm gonna go for the artillery. So I load HE immediately because that will make the artillery 2-shot for me, because the APCR in this thing is 350 alpha. Both of these guys have more than 350 health. And I can pen them pretty easily with HE. I'm 180 meters away from this guy, and that's when he spots me. He doesn't even spot me when I'm like 210 meters away, because Artie's view range is so trash, and this thing's camo is so good. Thankfully that guy doesn't pen me. I try to track him here, and I do manage to do that. I'm gonna out-reload him, even though I have an auto-loader, so... The only thing I'm thinking about right now is getting safe from this area and from this area while I kill this guy for free. Make my second shot count. I don't really know how the first one bounced. But now, as you can see, I'm out of APCR and HE, so I'm just loading heat. And I basically have 2 decisions right now. I can't go all the way around because it's going to take too long. The game is over basically. My team's going to kill all of them. So I either have to go this way or this way. And I decide to go this way. The main reason why is if I come this way and the renegade's pre-aimed at me, then I'm basically just stuck and I can't do anything. And I have to wait, and then I would have to relocate over here. So I decided to go this way instead, because regardless of where the enemies are, I can find some use. And I flanked the low. He could have killed me here very easily, but thankfully he bounces. It's probably a mistake to YOLO in there. You know, that's the kind of thing, like, you make one small mistake. If he would have killed me there, I missed out on like 5 shots of damage. And that's what separates like the very best players in the world from the very good players, is dumb, small little mistakes like that. Like, I should have died there. Try to track him there, but it's not really... I didn't want to hit his track for 0 damage either, so I didn't exactly aim for it entirely. And he dies. As you can see, I got 6 kills. Pretty great game. Let me quick show you the post-game stats. I think I have them. Yeah, here they are. So, 6,100 damage, only 400 spotting, 6 kills. I got 1,750 base XP. Yeah, pretty great game for this tank. I don't know if this is my max damage in this tank. Probably not, but it's pretty close to it. My max damage is probably like 6,600 or 7k. So it's a pretty great game. But honestly, the second I loaded in on Haluf in this matchmaking, when they have 2 light tanks, going to that bush almost ensures that I'm gonna have a pretty good game, as long as I don't really fuck up hard. So yeah, hopefully this has taught you a little bit about how to play light tanks on Haluf from this spawn. Not sure when the next video will be out, to be honest. We'll have to see, but Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.